Today we're going to talk about cooperation and conflict in the colonies. At the end, I will show you two different slides of what you need to write in your notes. First, we're going to start with cooperation. Cooperation is when things are working, things are getting along, people are getting along. There were four main settlements in the New World. We know this: the French, the English, Spanish, and Dutch. Most Native Americans lived in areas claimed by one of these four groups. At the time of settlement, everyone worked together to accomplish the tasks of the land. The Native Americans taught the colonists in Virginia and Plymouth how to grow crops such as corn and tobacco. They worked with them to survive the harsh winters during the first years. They even traded furs with the French settlers. The French traded furs with Native Americans. They didn't bring as many settlers as the English did. They didn't use a lot of the land to grow crops, so they did not make the Native Americans as angry as the other settlers did. They made allies or friends with the Native Americans during the French and Indian War. The North Americans and the Native Americans, and the French fought together against the colonists and the British, so they worked together. So we're going to use these examples that we just talked about to fill in your notes. Pause the video if you need to. So now we're going to talk about the conflict in the New World. Conflict means people weren't getting along. Colonists came to the New World and planted many crops. This took up a lot of land of the Native Americans. This caused wars between them because the Native Americans felt the colonists were taking the land that belonged to them. They fought with the French in the French and Indian War. It's actually also called the 7 Years' War because they did not take as much land and did not bring as many settlers. The French claimed Louisiana and areas around the Mississippi River. This area was called New France. This was a good place for trade because of its location next to the ocean. Included in this New France area was an area called the Ohio River Valley. The Ohio River Valley started a lot of disagreements because this land was extremely fertile. It was great for farming and it had a lot of thick forests for trade. At the beginning of the slave trade, slaves would work on plantations without much complaining. However, they began to get angry about how they were living and being treated, and I don't blame them one bit. Slaves were considered property and sold without warning. Slaves were not given any rights. They were often even thought of as property. Slaves wanted to have freedom from plantation owners. Slaves would revolt against their owners by working slowly, breaking tools, and pretending to be sick. Many attempted to escape. Slave revolts, however, did not work. The owners would find out and would usually be meaner to the slaves. They would have more control over them. And the plantation owners and colonists grew fearful of the slaves. In order to show how powerful they were, plantation owners would use violence or intimidation. This kept the plantation owners and slaves fighting against each other for many years. So use the next few minutes to fill in the blanks on your graphic organizer. If you need to pause the video, now would be a great time.